Howdy everybody, it's Mr. Greg from the Kindergarten Smorgasboard. So today I'm going to show you a video of how to use PowerPoint to create simple centers for your classroom. I did the PD session at my school Monday for this and totally forgot to record the video. Yeah, it was a Monday. So I'm going to walk through this again with you. I am using a Mac. So it'll look a little bit different as far as like where things are in PowerPoint, but the concept is the same. So if I say insert a table, it's the same on a PC. It may just be in a slightly different place to do it. So I'm just going to walk you through it. Like I said, these will be a very simple center just to get you started, to give you some direction. So I'll come back at the end and chat with you. So let's get started. So the first thing you want to do, obviously, is open up PowerPoint. Alright, so like I said, it's going to look a little bit differently on a Mac. You want to start a new presentation, and it should open up to look like this. To get rid of these boxes, because you want a plain white slide to get started with, just select one of the boxes and then hit Command or Control A, and that selects everything on the slide, and then delete. So now we have a blank canvas to work with. The easiest way for me, especially when I first started creating things for my classroom, was to start with tables. That just kind of gives you some space to work in and defines what you're doing a little more. So you want to go to Tables, and I think on a PC it's Insert Table, and you select New Table, and you get this box that has all these squares in it. And that tells you how big or how many squares your table will have. Of course, you can do one, you can do a 2x1, 2x2. I usually do a 2x2 table, which gives me 4 cards on a page. I'll do a 3x2, which is 6 cards on a page, and sometimes I'll do a 3x3, which is 9 cards on a page. So for today, I'm going to do a 3x2. So I'm going to go down 2 and over 3, and click that, and it gives me this. So I have my 6 cards. Of course, I wanted to fit my page, so I'm going to grab my box with my mouse, and I always pull mine to the upper left-hand corner and drop it so it looks like that. And then I come over to the bottom right-hand corner, and when my cursor turns to that little arrow, I grab it and I drag it down to make it fit my page so it looks like that. Of course, I don't want an ugly blue, horrible Microsoft blue. I don't know why they chose that as the automatic color. We want to get rid of that. So you come up here to where you have all these choices, and you click this arrow to give you more choices, and you can scroll through, and they're all kinds of colors for your tables. Of course, we want a white table, so I'm going to pick this one, and I have a white table. So there I am. So I have 6 cards that I can work with. Of course, you know, you always want fun borders and clip art on your centers. So I always start with a frame or a border. So to do that, you go to Insert, Picture, Picture from File, and then it will pull up your documents or your downloads. And wherever you have your clip art or your pictures is where you want to go when you're to this screen. Today I'm using a set of clip art from Ashley Hughes at the School Supply Addict. She was so nice enough to donate this so that the people in my QR code workshop and my PowerPoint workshop would have something to work with as we were working through this. So big shout out to Ashley at the School Supply Addict. So I'm just going to pick a frame, and it's going to look like that. Of course, that doesn't fit. It's not in the card, so I need to work with it. So the first thing I'm going to do is come to the corner, and again, when my cursor turns to that little arrow, I'll grab it, and that allows me to make it as little or as big as I want. And the reason I try to resize from the corners is that it keeps everything proportional. So then I want to move my border or my frame to my card, and it still doesn't fit. So I'm going to grab this corner and I'm going to make it fit. Now it still doesn't fit vertically, so I'm going to grab this bottom one and I'll drag it down to make it fit. So there I go. So I have one of my 6 cards now has a border in it. So the easy way to do the rest of them, select or just click on your frame, right click, copy, right click again, paste. And then you can move that one to your next box. Now it's already copied, so all I have to do is right click, paste. There's my third one. Alright, now you can do one at a time for the next three, but a shortcut is to click on one frame, hold down the Command or Control key, then you can select all of the frames. So they're all three selected. Right click, copy, right click, paste. Bam! I have three instead of one. So then I just grab one and they're all connected, they're all selected, so they move together. So I just move those down here. And they're a little bit off, so I'm going to move them back over. And ta-da, they're done. Here's a little trick. Sometimes in PowerPoint when you're moving things, it wants to move them in a bigger movement than you want. If you want to put something in a really, really precise location, select your picture or your border or your frame, your clip art, hold down Control or Command, and use your 4 arrow keys up, down, left, or right, and you can nudge those pictures over just a little bit at a time wherever you want them. Alright? So now we have 6 cards with 6 cute borders, but I need some clip art. So I'm going to go back to Insert, Picture, Picture from File, and my file opens up, and I'm going to choose gumballs. Oh, and I don't want that, so I'm going to delete that. Back to Picture, Picture from a File, and we'll pick gumdrops. So I don't like that one, get rid of that one. Go back to Home, go to Picture, Picture from File, and let's see, gumballs. Oh, I like those gumballs, so we'll select those, and it puts them in. Again, they're too big, so I want to go back up to one of my corners, grab that dot, and I want to resize my gumball. That's a pretty good size, so I'm going to position it. On PowerPoint, when you're moving things around, you'll see little lines pop up. Those will help you center your picture. So I'm going to do the same thing. Right click, copy, paste, drag it where I want it. Right click, paste, drag it where I want it. And again, I can select all 3 of those gumdrops. Right click, copy, right click, paste, move them where I want them. So there we go. We have our first slide done, design. So the rest of it's pretty simple. So of course we need numbers, words. So you're going to insert, text box, and then you're going to have this little cursor with a little letter and a little line, and that allows you to draw a text box. Okay. Sometimes if you're using a Windows PC, when you draw the text box, it'll shrink real small. Once you start typing and formatting your text, that box will expand to fit. And in this box, you can type anything you want. You can type words, you can type numbers, so that's just for text. So I want to use this to create a really simple tally mark center. So I don't want words, I want numbers. So what I'm going to do is get rid of that, and I'm going to type in a number. Of course, that's not cute, it's not cool, it doesn't look good, it's not centered. So what I want to do is highlight that. To highlight that, I can hit Control or Command A, and it highlights it. Or I can use my cursor and hold down the mouse button and drag over it, and it highlights it. I want to come up here and center it. So I just came up to the top and clicked Center. I'm going to come up here to where my fonts are. I'm going to click on that arrow to go through all of my fonts. I have fonts from Graphics from the Pond. Her Pond fonts are great. I have fonts from KG Fonts. Again, they're fabulous. I have Hello Literacy fonts. I have KB Connected fonts. I have Kickin' It in Kindergarten fonts. I have Zippity Doodah fonts. I have fonts from Kara Carroll, which if you want fonts with great names, that's the way to go because her fonts have the best names. So I'm just going to pick a font that I've used already once today. Alright, so my font changed, but it's not big enough. So I'm going to come back up here, and you can pull down and do your font size by number, but I don't like that because I want to be able to see it as it gets bigger or smaller. So the up arrow and the down arrow with the letter A will make your font bigger or smaller. So there's one card done. So again, I can do the same thing. Select my box, right click, copy, paste, drag it over, and I'm going to select that or highlight it and make it a 2. Right click, paste, put it where I want it, highlight it, make it a 3. And then again, I can select all 3 of those, right click, copy, paste, they're all 3 there, drag them down, and then I want to change my numbers, so 4, 5, 6. Alright? Now, this center is pretty much designed and ready to go, because all you have to do now is come over here to where the slide is, right click on that slide, go down to where it says duplicate slide, click that, and it gives you an exact copy of the slide. So all we have to do is now just change the numbers. Remember, you can just highlight those numbers and change it. You don't even have to delete it, you just highlight it and type your new number. Alright? I love the duplicate slide feature because it allows you to work a little bit faster once you've designed your original slide. Come back over here, right click on the slide, duplicate slide, there's my next slide. I'm going to come through and quickly change my numbers. Remember, you can double click to highlight the text, you can hit Command or Control A to highlight the text, or you can use your mouse. Alright, I'm going to come back over here, right click, duplicate slide, there's my slide. Change the numbers. Alright, so now I'm all the way to 20. So I don't need any of these. And of course I don't want to print a bunch of stuff I don't need, so I'm just going to start selecting and deleting. Select and delete to get rid of all of that. Now of course I can select, hold down Control or Command and start selecting all of them and get rid of them. And then I want to get rid of these text boxes because I don't need them. So there's a center. So now I have numbers through 20. So I need a recording sheet so that my kids have something to look at and read the directions and write on as they're working through their center. So what I'm going to do is come back over here and I'm going to click below my last slide and I'm going to hit enter and it's going to put in a new slide. So now we can work on a recording sheet. Of course I don't want all of this, so I'm going to select one of the boxes, Control or Command A, everything is selected, delete, and it goes away. I always like to have a little border around the edge of my recording sheet, so the most basic way to do that in the beginning is to go to Insert, Shape, so insert a shape, and you want to choose the rectangle shape, and you're going to get this little plus sign, and that means you're ready to draw. I always start up in the top left-hand corner for my shape, and as I draw, I always leave a little bit of white space around the edge, just because you never know how printers and copiers might cut that off. Alright, and it puts in that horrible blue rectangle, again with that ugly Microsoft blue, we don't like it. So I right-click anywhere in my rectangle, and I go down to Format Shape. So right-click, Format Shape, this box pops up. On the left-hand side, you'll see all these options. You want to go to the top where it's a bucket, and it says Fill. Select that, and you get this. So it says Color, and you have this little box. Click on that box, and you have all these choices. Click No Fill, and you get a white rectangle. The line is still blue. Well, we don't want a blue line. So over here on the left, under the bucket, where it said Fill, is a pencil, and it says Line. Click on that. Again, your little box pops up. You click on that box, and you can pick the color of your line, and I want a black line. Alright? So now I have a thin white line around the edge of my recording sheet. And that's perfect. That's great. It's a simple border. If you want to change it, you can go into line style. On a Mac it says weights and arrows, but I'm pretty sure on a PC it says line style. You can come down here to dashed, right here. Click on that box and you get all these choices. It can be dots, it can be stars, circles, or different patterns. I myself like the different patterns just because I think they're fun. And then you can come over here to where it says weight, and you can use the up and down arrows there to make it as big and thick and fat as you want, or you can make it as thin and little as you want. And then click OK, and now your recording sheet has a border. Now you need some boxes or lines or something for your kids to write on. So we have 1 through 20 on our cards, so we know we need 20 boxes. So I'm going to go back to tables. I'm going to insert a table, and I know I need 20 boxes, so I'm going to do a 5 by 4 table. And again, it's going to put in my table with that horrible ugly blue. So I'm going to grab that table and I want to move it. Of course, I want to leave some space right here so I can put in the name and the directions. Come down to this bottom right hand corner, grab that corner, and make that table fit right up to your border. And again, with that ugly horrible blue, you come back up here to where you have all of your table styles. And you want to scroll through and find that white table. If you click this one on the top, the lines go away. Of course, that's no good. So that's why you always want to click this second white one. And it went away. Sorry. There it is. So, there. So you want to click this one. There you go. And you can tell that on the first one it had like gray lines, which meant they weren't really there. So this one has those dark black lines. So there you go. There's my recording sheet. So I need a place for a name and directions. So I come back to Home, Insert, a text box. And I'm going to draw my text box. And I'm going to type in name. And I'm going to hold down the Shift key and the underscore key to make my line. Again, I don't want that boring font, so I'm going to highlight that word name. I'm going to come back up here to my fonts. Click that arrow, and I'm going to pick my font. So there's my name box. And I'm not happy because that line is real close. So I'm going to just move that up a little bit. Now, what I like to do is once the name box is there, I just copy that. So I select my text box, right-click, copy, right-click, paste. My box pops up again, and I'm going to move it over here. And I'm going to select all of the text, and I'm going to start typing the directions. So I might say, pick a card, read the number, make the tally marks. So of course it doesn't fit and it's not centered, so I'll highlight all of that. I'll come right here, click on center. It still doesn't fit, so I need to come up here to my little A's and use those arrows to make it smaller. And that's it. There's a recording sheet. I now have a center for my math baskets or my math tubs. Print it, laminate it, copy the recording sheet. It's ready to go. Pretty much that's how I create all of my centers. Now what you need to do is save it. The first thing you want to do is save it as a PowerPoint. So you go to File, Save As, and you want to give it a name, and I'll call this one Gumdrop Tally Marks. And I'm saving it right here as a PowerPoint, so click Save. Alright, now if you're going to put this on a blog or on Teachers Pay Teachers, or even if you're going to email it to people at your school or other friends who are teachers, you can't email the PowerPoint file because if they don't have the fonts, things get wonky. So what you have to do is save it as a PDF. So you always save it as a PowerPoint so you have the original so you can change it or fix any mistakes. And we all know I always have a mistake in mine. And I love when you point those out so I can get them fixed. So what you want to do is come back to File, Save As, and on the Format, you can click that arrow and you get all these options, and you want to select PDF, and save. The name will stay the same, so it's still Gumdrop Tally Marks. You're just now saving it as a PDF instead of a PowerPoint. Click Save, and my center is ready to go. Like I said, this is a very beginning, very simple way to create centers, but hopefully it will give you a starting point and give you some direction and where to go. If you have questions about what I did or how I did something, just leave a comment or shoot me an email and I'll be happy to answer it. What I would like to do from here on is quick little videos on PowerPoint on ways to do things a little more creatively to make things look different. Lots of tips and tricks. So if there's something very specific you'd like to know how to do, email me or leave me a comment on the blog or Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or Pinterest, wherever you find me. Let me know what you'd like to see, and I'll be more than happy to put together a little video to show you how to do things. I do want to give a shout out to some of my favorite clip art designers, because without them, I wouldn't be able to make all of these fun, creative centers. Graphics from the Pond, Ashley Hughes at the School Supply Addict, Melonheads, Zippity Doodah, Whimsy Workshop, Teaching in the Tongass, EduClips, Dots of Fun, let's see, The Price of Teaching has started doing some great clip art. I think those are my main go-tos. I mean, there are a ton of great clip art designers out there. So if you get to be like me, it's kind of addicting buying clip art. So I hope this helped. I look forward to seeing what everyone creates. Like I said, if you have questions, let me know. Shoot me an email, leave a blog comment, Facebook, wherever, and I'll be happy to help. And if you need anything else, let me know. Have a great night.